And we are live.
You're listening to the We Talk Nerd podcast about gaming, movies, and everything nerd. I'm your host, Brandon.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Rob.
And a lot of, not really any new games to talk about this week, except maybe one Rob might talk about. But other than that, it's a bunch of news. But before we jump into that, we'll see what Andrew's been playing.
I've been playing some games. I mean, Destiny 2, for one, because that late level grind never ends. At least not for me, because I go like 10 light level every week, and I still have to get 20 more light level to even get into the raid, which is crazy. But I'm still having fun, a lot of fun. A lot of people I met just playing some strikes and some activities. There's a lot of hidden stuff out there for the Dreaming City, and I'm really enjoying it. So Destiny 2, getting in there with the Bad Mom Jammas, did a normal raid, did some Mythic Pluses, a lot of fun. Nice. So I'm only playing 2 games because those 2 games will suck the time right out.
Very time consuming, yeah.
Yeah, very time consuming. How about you, Rob? What have you been playing?
Well, I finished Spider-Man PS4.
Nice.
Fantastic game. I was very, very pleased with it. It's it's everything that I was hoping for. The only criticism is I just wish there was like way more of it. So, but we are promised some expansions before the new year, so I'll be looking out for that. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about it and had a great time. Also did some analog gaming this past weekend.
Oh yeah,
had
definitely.
some friends over and we played some board games, and that's always a great time. And we ate some cheese. Yeah.
We did
a fancy cheese platter with wine.
We'll have cheese reviews later. And
yes.
Did you 100% Spider-Man? I was over there. I think it was like 95% or something.
Yeah, I'm at 95% still. I didn't play any time after that one. So the benefit to 100%ing it is another form or another costume. Maybe when the DLC comes out, I'll go through and do that. I got a feeling that stuff will pop up anyway when the DLC launches. So there's a few areas where I got to go and do a bunch of repetitive crime missions. Maybe on a rainy day, I'll go through and do that.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I've been up to. How about you, Brandon?
Yeah, y'all pretty much summed it up. WoW and Spider-Man is all I've kind of dug into for a while now. At least for a couple more days until we get Assassin's Creed, and then right after that, Red Dead. And then it'll be all those games. But hopefully I'll have Spider-Man done by then. And then, of course, WoW will never be done, unfortunately. But
never. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Other than that, that's been about it. So we can jump right in the news and get going. So probably the biggest thing to come out, at least within the last couple of hours, 24 hours or 72 hours, somewhere in there, is that Telltale Games, makers of games like The Walking Dead, the Batman games, Guardians of the Galaxy, so on and so on. They're closing down. They're going bankrupt. They're filing bankrupt. Everybody's going home. They're shutting the doors. It actually came out initially they were going to keep some people on board to finish the last Walking Dead season, but shortly after that they went ahead and canceled it as well and said they're not even going to finish the season. So whatever episode just came out, which may have been the 3rd or 2nd episode, is the last episode.
Yeah, that's a huge shame because I'm a huge fan of Telltale Games, primarily the Telltale story games like The Wolf Among Us and the Batman series and all that. But they also made a lot of really good Lego games too. They're the studio behind that. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's them. They do the Lego games and they do the Walking Dead series. So that's a lot of games that aren't going to be coming out anymore.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that like a lot of, I tell people that are just getting into games or like they're older and they're like, okay, what kind of games do you think I'll get into? And I always say Telltale Games. Yeah. Right? And their name gets thrown about like as if it was a big gaming company, and they are. I'm just wondering how they got into this. I
totally lied about them doing the Lego games.
Okay.
Another TT Games. Yeah. I'm totally wrong.
I thought that sounded odd, but I was just going with it because I didn't know any other way.
But people say Telltale Games, and I'm just wondering how they got into this spot. I didn't want to read into it a little bit more. I kind of breezed over the story, but kind of curious how they got in this position.
They kind of overshot their own success. They were kind of a small studio before the first Walking Dead season, and because of the success of the first Walking Dead season, they added a ton of staff, took on probably more than they can handle. And
they started off pretty, pretty modestly. They did some Wallace and Gromit stuff. They had a Back to the Future. They did, the Monkey Island remakes. And that's going back a decade. Yeah, a bunch of smaller, indie type of games. And then, The Walking Dead was kind of catapulted them up to the tops there.
Yeah. Okay.
All future projects they had, they planned the sequels for The Wolf Among Us and some other things, and they even announced the Stranger Things game in partnership with Netflix. But Netflix has actually came out and said they're still wanting to produce the Stranger Things game even without Telltale. So I'm curious to see how that will go and what direction that will be in.
Netflix buys Telltale. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
there's nothing to buy now except for a bunch of debt. So that's
you're right.
And that's what's kind of surprising, because you would think a company would like Microsoft or somebody would pick up, this smaller company, but all they really had were licensings, and they didn't really have their own, IPs. So.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and they said even the development platforms they use were not doing particularly well. Like they're really buggy, hard to maintain, and truthfully getting really long in the tooth.
They were the engines seemed very old, even if you played the newer games compared to the older ones. Not really much has changed.
No, but still great games. It was really the quality of the storytelling and
the story writing for sure,
and the decisions, those terrible decisions you'd have to make.
Always terrible.
Never, never the lesser of two evils, just two evils.
Yeah, it's sad to see doors close, but hopefully the employees will get picked up at other studios and they'll come out with, games that are just as great as the ones that came out before.
It's a good positive outlook there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I always look on the bright side. And not so bright side, we have Red Dead Online that was announced, which I think it was probably no surprise to anybody, but it was kind of never really hard confirmed. But they are doing a Red Dead Online similar to the Grand Theft Auto Online. You'll get beta will start sometime after the game Red Dead 2 releases, and we will probably see the microtransaction cycle continue.
Sure. Well, I mean, nothing has pointed to them like, hey, you should stop doing this. People hate it. Because all they do is just rake in money.
They know.
In their money trucks every month.
Yeah. When did Grand Theft Auto 5 come out, and how much money are they still making off of that?
2012, and people drop cash like it's,
Yeah.
So it's I think it's the beta, right? So they're saying a beta or the actual release. Like I think it's a month after.
A beta. It won't be online at launch. They'll have a beta.
That's it.
Pretty soon after the game comes out,
right?
And then the actual thing will come out. I'm sure the beta will be one of those things where it's quote unquote beta, but it carries over into the actual release, or what you want to call it.
No details of what that's going to look like, bases or like heists or anything like that.
I've heard. I'm sure it's going to have all that.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
It would have to, right?
Yeah, I'm
Customize
sure there'll be
your horse.
some fun in it. Yeah. As long as they don't, which it's, I mean, hopefully it's not centered around microtransactions, but I won't get my hopes up.
It is Rockstar, and that's what they're known for now. So
yeah. Other than that, some other Red Dead news is that the game will feature over 200 different animal species.
Okay.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
I mean,
a lot of animals.
Attention to detail. That's what Rockstar's about, right? I assume. Yeah.
Was not expecting that to be like a liner. Like usually you get, if you've played Horizon Zero Dawn, there's probably like, I'm going to say 15 different types of animals.
Right. Yeah, it's not a lot.
It feels extremely populated and very diverse. So 200, I mean, not quite sure what that's going to be. Maybe there's going to be like rare animals to go find.
Maybe that might actually count towards them. But
sure,
you would have to include some pretty different biomes, I would assume, to incorporate that many different type of species.
Yes, I like using the term biomes as well.
Yeah, we're getting fancy here.
Yeah, scientific.
But yeah, that's exciting. And there's probably some other surprising or even exciting news for some people if you're fans of this. But Sony announced the PlayStation Classic. akin to the SNES Classic or the NES Classic, and it's going to have 20 games. I think they may have named like 5 or 7 already.
And, they named some of the big ones. I mean, I think the game everyone would want to see on there would be Final Fantasy VII. So obviously that's top of the list there. I don't know that all the other ones look all that enticing though. Like none of them really jumped out, like Ridge Racer or even Tekken. I mean, Tekken 3, great game, but Tekken 7 is out there now to play, and it looks way better. The controls are much nicer. So I don't know the nostalgia is necessarily going to translate back. We'll have to see, because those early PlayStation games are pretty rough looking.
Yeah. Does the nostalgia for like say Nintendo, is that even comparable to the like nostalgia somebody might have for the PlayStation?
I had some really good stuff, I guess, really good memories with PlayStation, the first PlayStation, a Breath of Fire, or like any like RPGs were fantastic on those.
Yes,
and there were some very classic RPGs there.
Ogre
but
Battle.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're going to get the licensing for them. But I would like to see, like, for instance, those super rare titles that were like you can't get now, that you have to pay like I don't know $200-300 for. Like Valkyria Valkyria Profile? Suikoden is another one, right? Or Xenogears, probably another one.
What was it? Valkyria
Valkyria
Profile or Valkyrie
something
Profile?
like that. Yeah. Or Legends of Dragoon. That's another big one too.
Sure, Chrono Cross,
very good one.
Xenogears.
Yep.
Yeah, we might see some of this. Do you think we might see maybe Spyro or Crash Bandicoot with the after having the remasters come out on the horizon?
That's a good point. I don't think so, because
it is a Sony property though. So
yeah,
Naughty Dog and all that.
It'd be very easy to put on there.
Yeah, I got a feeling you'll see Crash Bandicoot. Less likely you'll see something that's like a Square Enix property.
Yeah,
like a Chrono Cross or even a Xenogears, something like that.
Final
It just
Fantasy
doesn't really belong.
Yeah,
but I feel like that was they
Kinda
probably have
given.
a perpetual license kind of thing with that.
They are working on the
They help
remaster
fund
for
it. Yeah, and they also said they're going to be bringing out the Final Fantasy series to other platforms too, to Switch and to Xbox.
Yeah, they had the last one, 15. The last one was on PC and Xbox. So.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy like 7, like remasters, like
the not remaster, the
10 and 12,
7 like remake, I guess. So they're rebuilding it from the ground up.
No, like the original. They're just it's gonna be available on Xbox and on Switch.
Nice.
So they're bringing out a bunch of them. It's gonna be like 7, 9, 10 or X Part 2. And I don't know if any of the other ones. 8 was not on there, and I was a little disappointed with that one because 8 was a pretty important one for me. I played through that one pretty extensively.
So for these people that love these retro, they're gonna pre-order it anyway, and they're gonna buy it no matter what. Like if it's just kind of now you're just kind of having a library of all these retro classic systems.
Yeah.
Well, it might be good. I mean, it's a limited scope for people, but I mean, it's an HDMI system. This would be good for like speedrunners or Twitch streamers that be able to bring it right into a capture card, and it's officially licensed PlayStation hardware. So I would think anything they do on that platform would be like legal in terms of or sanctioned from a result standpoint. I'd have to be corrected on that. I could be wrong, but I could see an argument for it.
It just sounds like it's going to make getting emulators and ROMs even harder going into the future.
Well, that's a legal gray area or just flat out illegal. So
yeah.
But price point, it's going to be $99. Comes out this December. So if you need a good holiday Christmas gift, there you go. Cool. Something sort of related to that. Nintendo filed the trademark for the N64 classic, so that we may be actually seeing the N64 face off against the PlayStation again for round 2
in December. you think in December, or I don't think so.
I don't know.
All right. I mean,
if they just filed the paperwork for it, I'm a little hesitant to think it'll be out for Christmas. Although it would dominate. I mean,
it would. Yeah. It would dominate.
I think it would. I think it would do really well. I think I would actually probably go for the 64 Classic just for the for my nostalgia purposes.
I would.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that announcement, to see those games. And we actually think there's an older episode that we've done where we've predicted some of those.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of want to go back and see what games we got right, which ones we didn't.
Yeah, we tell the future here.
Yeah. Oh, man. But something kind of unrelated. A little quick WoW dump on you real fast and then move away from some WoW stuff. But
I'm interested.
Yeah, they did talk about the next patch, 8.1, and a Q&A. It's called Tides of Vengeance. And here's some quick notes about it. They're bringing heritage armor for all races, not just allied races. They said the dwarfs and blood elves would be coming first. And the little concept art they have for the dwarfs look really nice. That's cool. But it is nice to see that they're supporting the older races and not just kind of thrown to the wayside. So that's nice. We have a new Warfront, Battle for Darkshore. So, just because they burned down the World Tree doesn't mean things are over in Darkshore. It's going to have an overall zone update similar to Arathi Highlands. It's going to be mainly Night Elf versus Forsaken. We're going to have 2 new island expeditions, 2 new raids. First raid being called Siege of Zandalar, and Zandalar being the Horde capital. So once again, they will be raiding in the Horde capital. But this time there's actually going to be some unique bosses for the Horde and Alliance. So, when the Alliance goes in, they'll invade at the ports. They'll fight 3 bosses that only the Alliance. Well, not only. I'll get to that in a minute. But they'll fight 3 bosses unique to the Alliance side of the story. And a Horde will be out in the forest coming in to defend the city. They'll fight their 3 Horde-specific bosses. And then once you've cleared out your side of the story, you can actually go talk to somebody and actually fight the other faction's bosses for a total of 9 bosses for the entire raid. So, they do have some unique stuff for each faction, but, it doesn't matter what faction you're on, you get to experience all of it.
So Zuldazar.
Zuldazar, yep.
Zuldazar.
The big pyramid that the Horde uses as their capital city. That's the raid point.
Cool.
Yep. The second raid is called Crucible of the Storms. It happens underneath the I just drew a blank on the name of the current dungeon that's there.
Uldir?
No. The Shrine of the Storms.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a short 2-boss raid similar to the Trial of Valor. Yeah. They had the ones from Wrath and stuff. But it's 2 short bosses. You kill those, move on. That'll come out later after Siege. Kind of be like a little filler between the next one. But yeah, two raids being announced for one patch is really exciting.
I like that. That brings me back to Gruul. There's a Gruul day. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Gruul, yeah. Gruul was Gruul was one of those
that.
3 boss places. Yeah,
I like that one.
They have they're bringing some rep. The biggest complaint so far for this expansion for some people have been the rep grind, and so Blizzard's kind of tweaking it a little bit, make it a little bit better. So Champions of Azeroth is the big main point where you have to do so much of the story to unlock it, and then you start getting rep. Well, they went ahead and said that if you unlock it on one character, it's unlocked throughout the account, so you don't have to grind up to that.
Yes,
that's nice.
That's why I have to wait. That's why I'm waiting for all this stuff.
Yeah, that was a big complaint for some people because they're like, I already did this before. Why do I have to keep doing it over and over again for each alt? So they put that out there. If you unlock it on one character, you got it throughout the others. Rep-based achievements, so the ones where you have to get X amount of reputations exalted, that's account wide now. So if you have exalted rep on this character and then later made this character your main, and you have different reps that all come together now towards your total instead of being separate. And there's actually if there's gear that's gated behind rep, so if you have to have exalted to wear these boots with this faction, you couldn't transmog that if you didn't have that rep already on a different character. They're getting rid of that, so you can transmog to whatever piece of gear you want, no matter if it's behind rep or not. So those are kind of little improvements to rep. I think that kind of might still the tide for now, but we'll see.
I see what he did there. He said tide, and that's the whole theme. I'm trying to bring it in.
Yes. They said there's new class updates. Not sure what that entails. They said something about reworking some Holy Paladin animations and stuff. So maybe we might see some modernization to some of these classes that are kind of gotten old. That haven't seen some updates. They're still talking about the pet battle dungeon, the Pokemon-esque minigame within WoW. They're supposed to bring a dungeon, Nobragon. That's supposed to come out with this patch. We'll see. They talked about that for a while now.
Are they doing the dance studio?
It might come in 8.2. We'll see.
You think? All right.
No.
It was supposed to be part of the Burning Legion.
No, it's supposed to be part of Wrath initially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That never came. Never came. They even teased it a little bit when Draenor came out. Didn't see it there either. But more profession recipes, and as an engineer, I can say I literally have nothing to craft ever. So I don't expect any new recipes for my profession, but good for everybody else.
A little salt, just a little salt,
just a little bit of salt, just a little bit of salt. And no new allied races as of yet. They're not going to be in part of 8.1, but they did say Zandalar trolls and Colterans are coming soon, and that the new raid will actually kind of be the stepping stone, or kind of the last stepping stone, I don't know how you want to say it, of getting that faction into your alliance or horde. So, yeah, that's all the WoW news I have for now. Until BlizzCon, anyway.
Which you will tell us all about, I'm sure.
Of course. I might do some live stuff. Be down there on the floor.
Nice.
No, that'd be too much. But tell me about Smash. What's up with Smash?
So, not too much in the news for the game, but just that now they got some bundles that have gone live on Amazon. Kind of more of a PSA as far as that goes. Have you seen the bundles yet?
Is it like with the Switch, or not the Switch, the GameCube controller, or is it the one with the actual console itself?
So they have the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Edition. Mm-hmm. And if you take a look at it, it's got a kind of a unique look to it. So it's themed with the with the traditional Smash Brothers graphics. Appears to be like a dark gray. I don't know if that's just like they haven't like colored it in yet, but if you look at it, it looks really.
So this is a console
really
itself.
Interesting. Yeah, this is a console bundle. So if you actually look at let me see if we can't. Basically, all the fighters are on the front cover of the Switch.
Yeah, on the dock or something, or is it on the back?
It's on the front.
Look at the picture.
So if you take a look, it's got
I got you. Yeah. On the dock. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're a Smash Brothers fan, that's what it'll look like for you.
I wonder if that's like a sticker, if that's actually like made into the dock itself.
I hope it'd be a little bit nicer than just a sticker. They also have the GameCube controller as well for the Switch, so you can get your retro gaming on with the old style controller. It looks really nice, and it's got the, of course, Smash Brothers logo on it.
Mm-hmm. Those Joy-Cons look cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like they still need to color it in.
It kind of looks uncolored. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Something's not quite right there.
Something's not right. But we'll see.
So it may not come out gray.
But even if they did go with that, it'd be pretty unique.
It would look pretty classic, kind of timeless. So I think that'd be cool too.
Yep. What about this experience with the online service there, Andrew?
Yeah, so I purchased it just before, maybe an hour before this podcast, and I wasn't really up to date on how the cloud saves work, so I'm just like, it's $34 a year. It's worth a shot. It's not bad, and I have me, my wife, and my oldest daughter. She's gonna play some games too, starting soon. So I created an account for her. It's easy enough. Go on the family account, add them to the family account. Easy, right? Mm-hmm. When I bought it, everything activated on my Switch. Simple enough. And I wanted to dive into cloud saves because that was the first thing I wanted to check out. Because the main thing is I want to basically log into I have two Switches. I want to log into my Switch, play my games there, my specific games, and then on my wife's Switch, I also want to still play my game saves. So it's easy enough. You go into settings, and there's a cloud save backup now, and there's a list of all your games, and it says automatically saved. I downloaded Stardew Valley, and it's just right now it's backed up. It's all queued, saying waiting for back up. I'm assuming that that's just the servers because everyone's signing up for this. But once it's downloaded, I can play on both my systems, and that is well worth the $35 in my opinion. So if I can play a game on my Switch, and I bought it for my Switch, and she can play it too. So I love it.
The battery goes dead on one, I'll swap to the other.
That's too. And then I also tried the classic NES. It's basically one application. It's an emulator. You just log into it, and it shows you all those classic games. I just played Excitebike for maybe like 10 minutes. I loved it. It was great. It was really good. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
There's a ton of great games on here. They've got the original Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3. Legend of Zelda. They got Yoshi's Island, River City Ransom, Pro Wrestling, Ice Climbers, which is always a fun time. Gradius, which is a game you don't really hear a lot about nowadays, but that was the kind of the original, bullet hell shoot 'em up kind of thing. And one of the old family favorites was Dr. Mario. I used to play that quite a bit. So. And I mean, Donkey Kong, Double Dragon. It just goes on and on. There's a ton of great games.
They're all there. I'm gonna go through them, and I'm gonna play most of them. And I'm gonna see. I'm gonna get the full experience. And for $35 a year, like I said, it's really good.
I hope they go through and add other They hope they go through and add some SNES games and 64 games and maybe even GameCube.
Yeah, they need to.
It'd be nice. I would pay for a premium version of online service if it had N64 and GameCube emulation on the Switch.
I think they're going to expand. This is the start, right? This is the start of everything.
Yep.
So they're going to build up on it, and I believe further down the line they're going to give us discounts. Like PlayStation Plus gives us discounts on these games. I'm pretty sure we're going to do the same thing with the service. And of course, like you said, and like they said, they're going to add these games. They're going to add more games to this library. So
they are adding more NES games. That's what they've confirmed that.
Perfect.
I do hope they add other systems as well.
Yeah, really nice. All right, so the next game news, for your Anthem fans, it's 5 months out, yes, still, but they're coming out with news, to feed the people that are really hungry for more Anthem news.
It's pretty. That's not a long time away.
It isn't. I guess what do they call this? They're calling this probably like the A stage in development where they're trying to basically polish everything. Yep. So and then more news is going to come out. And for the biggest news that came out recently is that one of the leading producers says the ways to play Anthem, and then has a chart on what date is going to have the demo, what date is going to have early access, and who will be able to play based on this graph. So the first column is demo access on February 1st, 2019. That's when the demo's happening. Everyone's going to get it. That's from standard pre-orders to Origin Access Premier people. Now, early access, the full game, on February 15th. This is the 15th. This is a week earlier than the actual release. Origin Access Premier PC people will get to play the game a week earlier. And then the next column is Play First Trial 10 hours on February 15th. That's for EA Access, Xbox One, and Origin Access Basic on PC. I don't know what those are. I don't know what Basic is. Is that like a second tier?
Yeah, there's the Origin Access Basic, which is like what we talked about, $5 a month, $25 a month.
Gotcha.
And that's just like you play a couple days early.
Yeah.
And you don't get to keep the game. That's just the trial version of the game. But with the Origin's Premier version, you have the game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the full game on release for everyone else on February 22nd. So it's a good reference. It's a good reference. And for me, this, I think, and with hearing from Brandon, I think I might go for the Origin Access Premier.
Yeah. If you're gonna play more than one EA game on PC, it makes sense to do Premier, in my opinion.
I'll be playing Battlefield as well. So yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
That's the news, I think.
Good stuff. Do we have reviews this week?
Well, we have Metacritic reviews.
Yeah.
We have Metacritic reviews.
So
we don't have a Rob's review for Tomb Raider yet.
No, not yet. I'm definitely not far enough into it to really be able to talk about it.
Okay.
I decided to play some of the other games that I've been kind of neglecting. So I was playing on pretty much a half day of just Fallout 4. I'm like,
Nice.
at the end
That's
of it, it
good.
was
Yeah.
fun, but yeah, no one needs to hear my review of Fallout 4.
No.
And unfortunately, that kept me away from Tomb Raider. That was just what I was in the mood for at the time. So, you get like that.
Yeah, of course.
So there's really not a whole lot of new releases at all on any of the systems, but I'm going to touch base on just a couple of them, and we'll go from there. So Valkyria Chronicles, which we talked about last podcast, is still coming out tomorrow, and that's currently sitting on an 82 overall, which is a good game. That's a good score. It's what you would kind of hope for from that style of game. Broken Sword 5, those are, I guess, kind of point and click adventure games. I'm not very familiar with them. Either you guys play them?
Nope.
So, but they're up to 5 now. So they've
There's that.
obviously they keep making them. Velocity 2X, it's kind of a puzzle platforming speed game.
Sounds like a mobile game.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it. I'm couldn't tell you much about it, although it's got 84 overall, so that's very solid reviews. So,
Yeah.
probably one of those games that's fun for the, for what it is or the style of game that you're looking at. So, and of course, this is available on Switch as well. Another game called The Gardens Between. Any want to take a stab at what that might be?
No.
Nope.
No. I like how you just
guess.
put these up there and just like we just read the names and everyone kind of just reads into just what could it be? What could it be?
Yeah, I just put them up. I don't really talk too much about what the
People
try
might
to
be
guess what the
interested.
game
That's why
might
we're
be.
kind of putting this out there. Yeah.
All right, I see 2 boys sitting together. They're on a beach. They've come across like a computer. One of them is wearing an Alabama shirt. So it's obviously some kind of sports simulator, puzzle adventure game. So right now it's sitting at 78. So, look into it some more and see what you think. Might be the perfect game for you.
Rob, please save us. What's on PS4? Valkyria Chronicles 4.
God, he is.
Yeah, so as we just talked about, it's a little bit
Yeah.
more highly rated on PlayStation 4, a little better received. Metal Max Xeno. Post-apocalyptic, collect and customize tanks to battle mutated creatures and robotic enemies.
Fantastic.
Yeah, sounds completely generic.
Yeah.
That's currently sitting on a 69 right now, so kind of mixed middling reviews. Nothing really makes me want to look and see any more about that game.
Nope.
Another one coming out tomorrow, Punchline. It's the newest visual novel adventure from the creators of Zero Escape and the Science Adventure series.
Next.
Couldn't tell you anything about that.
Here we go. Here we go.
FIFA is coming out tomorrow. FIFA 19 delivers a champion caliber experience on and off the pitch. That's the field for you non-soccer folks. Introducing the prestigious UEFA Champions League.
The good old pay $60 a year for an expansion. For new rosters.
$60 a year would probably get you out pretty cheap. A lot of these folks like to do the Ultimate Team, and there have been reports of people spending thousands of dollars per year on these Ultimate Teams.
And everybody's kind of got their eye on it over there in Belgium, and see how this court case goes. We talked about that last week as well.
Sure. So this was a bit confusing because the Walking Dead Telltale series, the final season, was released or is being released tomorrow officially.
The last episode. Yeah. Well, it's not the last episode, but the last episode that will be.
The last season, but they're not going to finish it. So
whatever happens in this episode is it.
Yeah, so it got bashed at a 64, so pretty middling reviews. I'm going to assume that's a bit of backlash. Yeah, it just says RIP.
No. Yeah.
That's probably due to the fact that you'll never get to see the end of it to know, what actually happened. So that's disappointing.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's twist the knife a little bit more just to see that it's coming out and never going to be finished. Another platform that the Gardens Between were released.
All right, nothing else. There's nothing else. I can't read it. I can't read anymore.
Star Control Origins is released.
I was playing that today.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, sure.
All right,
Phil loves this one. So, yeah, explore the galaxy, investigate new worlds, contact new civilizations, and battle hostile aliens in Star Control Origins. You are the Expand.
Isn't Star Control a series?
Oh, sure, yeah. Star Control's been around for years, and they've had different variations of it. I think this is a kind of a remake of the original. Or perhaps just going back to those original, the original storyline. So yeah, Star Control is a kind of a 4X game set in space. So expand, explore, all that sort of thing. Okay. So I've never played them, but apparently it's doing okay with a 75 overall. That's one less than the 76 that a Bard's Tale 4 has gotten. Co has been playing the heck out of this.
Co played the heck out of that one too, yeah.
I kickstarted this game, and I have installed it. So that's as much as I can tell you about the experience of the Bard's Tale 4. It looks pretty interesting. It's always a, it's got that classic party-based combat where you move around and they're kind of following you, and you got different people that you play as. There's also a lot of puzzle elements to it, and of course some story.
Very odd from what I see.
It's not your usual dungeon crawler or anything like that, especially because there's a bit of like overland exploration that's out there for it too. So it's an interesting game. And then Transference, which we talked about last time, came out and got an 84.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
So that's your Metacritic weather report. Back to you, Brandon.
All right. So that's all the gaming stuff we got. So we're going to turn it over to some movies and TV and talk about some things. But that Godzilla and King Kong movie that we've talked about before is actually starting filming next month for its 2020 release. I kind of need to get on the ball and actually watch the Godzilla and King Kong movie that's already came out.
So is King Kong going to just like punch Godzilla's shins? Because they're not the same height, right?
I don't know. I need to watch the movies and figure out what's going on.
I want to say like Godzilla's going to be like way taller than King Kong is.
For what I understand, from what we talked about, that's actually the case with these new movies. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see.
Wait, isn't the new Godzilla movies coming out soon? Before that too?
Yeah, the King of Monsters or something.
Yeah.
It was actually coming out this month or next month. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, cool.
And then the previous one was what, King Kong Skull Island or something.
But not related or anything. Not lore wise or anything. But other than the actual character.
I think it's actually supposed
to be
part
of the monster universe.
The series they're making. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the King Kong movie, the Godzilla movie, then King Kong, or Godzilla versus King Kong.
Cool.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the specifics. When it comes out, I'm sure they'll fill in the backstory because the Bryan Cranston and this new one are supposed to be in the similar unit, are actually not the same, I don't think.
No, not that Godzilla.
Because they both get discovered. So, there's two of them that are within just a few years of each other and that are not related. So I don't know.
It's very odd what they're doing with the Godzilla.
Yeah, it's what Godzilla's been doing. It's a reboot every time.
Reboot every time. That is true. Mm-hmm. But something that's not a reboot and is surprisingly new is that they actually Netflix confirmed they are working on the Diablo series, and so that is happening. And I think we'll probably see something about it at BlizzCon. Which
I hope so. That'd be really cool. Diablo's got a better than expected storyline.
It really does.
I think it would be a great series. I don't know what type of show it's supposed to be like, but something like that new Castlevania would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm curious. I wonder if it's live action or if it's animated.
Okay, so Brandon, Diablo, Netflix series, then Diablo 4. That's the announcement, right? BlizzCon.
My fingers are crossed.
Right? Right?
I'm holding out for Diablo 4, but we'll see. We'll see.
Amazing.
I'll let you know. I'll be the first to let you know if it happens.
Oof, that'd be amazing.
The Kingsman 3 is set to release in November of next year. That's a thing that's happening for sure. And there's your release date for it. Back to the Netflix stuff. Daredevil Season 3 got its release date, and that is October 19th, sooner rather than later. So that's right around the corner. I hope everybody's excited for that.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons were great.
More Netflix news is Netflix is working on a live adaptation of The Last Airbender. And we all have horrible flashbacks to the last time we had a live action Last Airbender.
Yeah, I'm like, are they sure they want to do this again?
But this time, the curators of the show will actually be showrunners and executive producers.
Okay. Yeah.
So, we'll see how it goes. I don't know if it is odd to see that they're doing making a show about a show. It's kind of odd to see that. Hopefully, maybe they kind of take some differences on the story a little bit. Maybe do some things you couldn't do animated, but we'll see. I'm excited, and I'll watch at least a couple episodes to see how it does when it comes out.
Yeah, I love The Last Airbender myself, and Legend of Korra, so I'll give it a shot as well.
Yep. Some other big news. I thought this is pretty big news anyway. The Disney streaming service will actually feature TV series focused on Marvel heroes that don't have their own movies, like Loki and the Scarlet Witch. And those will actually be portrayed by the actors that play them in the movies.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Like if Loki really went hardcore into the behind the scenes Asgard stuff, that's actually a pretty rich universe. I would love to see it. But Loki's dead.
As of right now, that is true. Loki is dead. Spoiler alert for those who for some reason haven't seen the movie yet.
4 months.
It's free game. It's free.
Yeah, we can talk about it now.
But yeah, I'm cool. I'm curious to see which characters get a show. So, be exciting. Always good stuff. Always good to have more Marvel stuff. And it sounds like the Disney streaming service is getting, even stronger and stronger. Have a good lineup when it comes out.
Yeah, we'll see, because they haven't started filming it. There's
right.
There's a lot of ifs that have to go in there. Like, I'm still waiting for that Lord of the Rings series from Amazon. That's been talked about for a year now. So I mean,
a lot of stuff.
Everything they're talking now is
yeah,
exactly. They've been talking a lot of talking. I want to see some series.
I need to see some action. Speaking of more talk, less action, is that if and when they do make the Marvel Studios version of X-Men, Kevin Feige will oversee it, according to Disney CEOs.
Who is Kevin Feige?
He's the overseer of the current MCU.
Pretty sure it's Kevin Feige.
Feige.
Like, we could be saying that wrong. He's the guy that's in charge of the MCU. So all the good stuff that's been going on with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's been there since day one.
Nice.
All the crap that's been somewhat surrounding it, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or that terrible Inhumans, that was done by another guy, another executive with Marvel, and he's been involved in some of those things, but not Kevin Feige. So this is encouraging that he would be taking it over.
Yep,
gotcha.
So that's good. It's good news. Unrelated, and actually on the other spectrum of superhero stuff, is that we actually had some photos and actually a short video of what Joaquin Phoenix would look like as the Joker.
Mm-hmm. He looks great. He looks menacing. He looks dangerous.
You guys like it?
Yeah, I think it looks great. I like it way more than the Jared Leto stuff.
Yeah, it's very a little bit of Heath Ledger, a little bit of the was that Romano, the original Joker.
Oh, Romero.
Yeah, Romero with the paint and all.
Yeah, Cesar Romero.
Yeah,
a little bit.
It looks interesting.
No, he's such a good actor anyway. He's been fantastic in a lot of things. So, I'm really curious to see his take on it. I'm just, I don't know the best way to describe Jared Leto's, but kind of the punk rock,
Yeah, he's odd.
Yeah.
I would hope to think that Jared Leto's is maybe the Jason Todd version of the Joker. they never really talked about it. I don't know if that's possible or not, but
I just hope that's all done. I mean,
yeah,
they're talking about Harry Cavill not being around anymore with the
yeah,
for
actually about
Superman.
that. So let's go ahead and get into that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I brought it up, but I think there's gonna be some pretty major rebooting going on.
Yeah, Warner Brothers actually came out and said no more Superman movies, no more plans for any more Superman movies. Which, in layman terms, someone would think no more Henry Cavill as Superman. But do you think he might show up in other movies, in a cameo role or in a lesser role as Superman, or do you think his role is done?
To be honest with you, the way they've been portraying him, he's a little boring. I mean,
he's a kind of overpowered Superman.
Yeah, he's definitely, overpowered. Just I don't think there's enough time to really explore like what makes him like such a good character. And because they have to just do everything in action, they might as well just make him part of an ensemble team. It just seems to make more sense that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but of course they're still moving ahead with the Wonder Woman stuff. So it's odd. It's it's gonna be kind of odd to have them cut some off and then keep others. I don't know how it'll work, but we'll see.
Isn't that really DC's fault though? It's not really.
It really is.
It's not like the character can be recreated probably 10 years from now in a better way, but as long as DC, the current producers and directors of DC are there, they probably can't do anything with it right now, right?
Yeah,
at least what I'm saying.
They really screwed the pooch on that one when they were like, "Let's go ahead and make Justice League." It's like, oh no,
rush it. Yeah.
Well, it's a bit of laziness and maybe a little bit of presumptuousness on their side. I mean, Marvel spent
10 years,
5 years building up
before the Avengers. Yeah,
Avengers, right? So, the 2007, 2008, and then they kind of trickled out some movies, and all of a sudden Avengers comes out, and it's this big release, and everyone's looking forward to it because they had watched and maybe not loved the other series or the other movies that came out, but at least they understood. Right. Well, I kind of like Thor.
Really?
That cracked me up. Yeah. He goes in the pet store, and he says, I need a horse, and they say, we don't have a horse. All we have is, like, dogs and birds. And he goes, give me one big enough to ride. I still think that's a great line. He can deliver funny lines.
Yeah,
and it suits Thor well. But the point is they spent like sweat equity, like building these things and getting people invested in the series, and then they said, okay, now Avengers is coming out, and it's this big release. Whereas Justice League was like, or the whole DC universe was like, okay, we're going to go ahead and do this year, then this year, and then this the next year. And it's like, well, wait a minute, you didn't earn anything. I don't even care about Cyborg, right?
Right.
I don't even know who he is really within the context of this universe. What makes him so important? So what they do is they have a pretty weak Man of Steel movie, a really bad Marvel Batman vs Superman, in terms of just storyline. In terms of universe building, it was
what it could be. Yeah.
Right. Whether or not you enjoyed it or whatever, that's up to you. But it was kind of weak from a world building standpoint.
Definitely.
Wonder Woman comes out, surprises everybody.
Yeah.
And then she's like not nearly as good as she was in her own movie as she was in Justice League.
Right.
So in Justice League, they like really toned her down. So yeah, DC's got to go back to the drawing board and a lot of stuff because not everything they have is working.
They won an Oscar though.
Did they?
Yeah, for costume design for Suicide Squad.
All right. Sure. All right.
Oh man, Suicide. Another terrible story or world building movie.
So it's a game of catch up, and they failed. So really, like Rob said, is they just need to stop, right? Rethink.
That's the
and
thing,
let Marvel do their thing.
At this point, like,
is it? Yeah, you can.
Is it financially possible to stop and then?
Yeah, I don't know.
They should. Bad movies.
They should stop.
I think, or poorly received movies. At some point, people stop going. If they keep coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, Justice League made money, but it wasn't the huge hit that they were hoping
Avengers.
For. Right. Definitely, it's not $1 billion franchise. It's not even Dark Knight or Batman Begins. So,
like, make Wonder Woman. Keep going with that. That's fine. That's because that's already good on a good streak. But
they kind of caught lightning there because that was a fun movie and it worked out really well. But that was not their typical type of series, and a lot of it was kind of a happy accident. Chris Pine ended up being very entertaining in the movie.
Yeah.
They had a good back and forth and everything. You're not always going to get that. And also, it was it was a period piece, so it was very different. A lot of people hadn't seen superheroes in World War II.
That's a good point.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes with this next, this 84. Is that what it's called? Wonder Woman 84.
Cool. Yeah.
We'll see how that one does.
Sure.
And see if it holds up, or if it was just a by chance thing. But I'm a sucker for superhero movies in general, and I will usually always see what comes out. So we shall see. We do have Shazam after Wonder Woman, so
yeah. Shazam, I'm a little more interested in now that I've seen the
trailer,
the spirit of the movie. I think it would have been really bad if they tried to go dark and then had that costume.
I forgot to add some notes about the Captain Marvel trailer that dropped.
Oh yeah, that's huge news.
Yeah. That is huge. Yeah, that's the first time we actually seen anything about that. What'd you guys think of it?
A bit confusing for me, since I'm not familiar with the character, but she seems just angry at some random parts.
She does punch an old lady.
I know. It's very confusing for me. But I do like bringing it back to he's Fury's there. So
the de-aging on point over there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting on a number of fields, because you've got a lot of world building going on, and actually universe building, because you're going to be introducing the Kree and potentially the Skrull.
Yeah, they actually talked about that.
Yeah, that's a very different. They haven't talked about that in any of the other series, and since Fantastic Four and X-Men may be coming back, a lot of these alien races are now coming back into play as far as where they could be in the whole cinematic universe. So, I mean, you could see a lot more mashups with Guardians and the Shi'ar and the Kree and the Skrulls, and just there's all sorts of possibilities now from an alien invasion. And actually, there's a character from the Fantastic Four called Annihilus, which he brings in basically locusts that go through and destroy a planet. That would make for a pretty cool cinematic setup. So, and Captain Marvel would be probably front and center on that. So I'm looking forward to what could be out there. And, Brie Larson's a great actress. I think she'll be just fine. She does look kind of angry, but all the superheroes look kind of sour.
Maybe
I don't know if you saw the photoshops. I don't know if you saw the photoshops where they put smiles on all the male heroes.
That was funny.
Yeah, they just look like total goofballs when they did it.
So, yeah, I'm excited for that, and we'll see what goes on with that. Kind of saying that, I finally finished the second season of Iron Fist. With Daredevil right around the corner. I have to say, for those of you who aren't fans of the Iron Fist series, this is a much better Iron Fist story. It's a huge improvement over the last season.
Well, that's good to hear. The last one was kind of missed the mark. I don't think they really got the character right, and it wasn't really likable.
I think that will change a little bit in this season. I think that if you didn't like him in the last season, you can kind of see where he's coming from in this season. You like him a little bit more. I have to say, though, I think the story in the first one with the hand and everything was kind of a bit more grandiose. On this one, tones it back a little bit more, and it's kind of a singular story kind of flow to it, where it's only focused on one main thing, which is good for some things. But yeah, it's okay. It's not as big and grand, like I said. I think it fixes a lot of the problems that people may have had with the first season. In terms of, I know people had problems with the choreography and the fights and stuff. They fixed that in this one.
That was his next comment, actually. Is the fight choreography better?
Yeah, I think we talked about it before. The big issue with the first season is he just started learning the choreography as they were filming, so he was learning things as they filmed.
Ooh.
And he didn't look very believable.
It's a lot better in this season. Some of the fights look pretty darn good. I think. And there's actually a little bit of a tease for the next season, if there is one, which I'm assuming there will be. It kind of shows you what's going to be happening a little bit down the road, and it's pretty exciting. It looks incredible, and I'm really excited to see what they do with the story.
Iron Fist is a cool character. He's great in the Marvel universe. They didn't really flesh him out too much in the first season. I haven't seen the second season yet, but if they can start using that, I'm gonna like butcher this name, but it's like Kun Lao or Kun Lao. Kunlun, where he's from.
Kunlun, yeah.
That's just like a big kung fu universe that everyone's always fighting mystical creatures and and monks and everything else. It's just like
this season is kind of like your little bit of introduction into that side of the lore of the Iron Fist, of like how where the stuff comes from, what it's like over there, and then at the end, season 3 is definitely going to be about what where the Iron Fist come from and the history of the Iron Fist and that kind of thing. And overall, 7.5 out of 10. I liked it.
Nice.
Cool.
So now it's time for a segment that comes every now and then when we have stuff to talk about, but it's Rob's comic time.
Yes, some comic news this week. Some 2 very different types of stories this week. The first one was, let me ask you a theoretical question.
Okay.
Have you ever wondered what Batman's junk looks like?
Of course, who hasn't?
Well, for people like you, that question has been answered.
Really?
And in the series called Batman Damned, it's part of the dark DC universe, like it needs to be even darker.
Oh my god.
Yeah. There was a scene in which Batman is walking away and he is not wearing any clothes, and it is he is shrouded in shadow. However, to make it extra mature for adult readers, they decided to include the silhouette outline of his bat wing.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. So and there's been some some discussions on it and everything. I think probably the best comment I saw was from the creator of the Savage Dragon, Eric Larson, and he said that's one less reason to be jealous of Batman. So awkward all around.
Oh.
And some happier news. You guys know who the leader of the Avengers is, right?
Not right now.
Well, it has been announced. The leader of the Avengers in the comic universe, not necessarily MCU.
What is that? The 616, Marvel 616?
Yeah, the 616 is Black Panther. He is going to be the leader of the Avengers, replacing any number of people that have led it before. Falcon, Captain America, the list goes on and on. But he will be the new full-time leader, which is great from a getting his name out there more as an integral part of the of that comic universe. So it's very good to see.
Wasn't he a founding member in the 616 of the Avengers? No,
he was not. He has been closely affiliated. And actually, because he's the Prince of Wakanda, there's a bit of a political discourse about him controlling what the Avengers can do, and also being the head of a state. So there's a bit of questions there, but Iron Man and Captain America seem to think that it's not that much of an issue. So they have imbued him with the rights as the leader. So pretty cool news. Big change for the series. I think it's going to help usher in some new characters and maybe a new cast. So probably less of what you see in the MCU and more of exploring the catalog of Marvel characters.
Nice.
Yep. So that's all I have for news. I figured I'd jump into a review, and actually I wanted to kind of mix this up a little bit. Now, typically I'll take this time and talk about a new comic that just came out, or maybe a series that I really like from a bit ago. But what I'm going to talk about today is a podcast about comics, and it is called #Who Would Win. And what they do is they compare 2 different characters, and they spend an amazing amount of time doing research on what the capabilities are for each of these characters, and then they present in a discussion style back and forth, like a debate, as far as who they think would actually be the winner. And they bring in a third-person guest moderator for each show. So they'll present their sides on each one. So I had the last one I listened to was Hulk versus Wonder Woman, and you might be surprised at who they ultimately decide thinks that might win. It's not always so clear cut because certain abilities and certain powers are up for discussion, and you might actually see that be all the way back from like the 50s. There might be some power that they explored then that they can talk about now. So it's all fair game. So not that I want to encourage you to listen to any other podcasts out there, but
no.
But this is one that I've found on my drive into work. It's very entertaining. The guys do a great job with their research. So I would highly recommend checking it out, especially if you've got those lingering questions of who would win in a fight. They've covered almost 100 of them so far. So you'll certainly find some details about some characters maybe you didn't know that much about.
Cool.
So I'm not going to give them a review, just a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly. So
Nice.
check them out.
Cool.
All right, and that'll do it from Rob's Comic Corner.
Nice. We need a theme song to play you out.
We did.
Rob's Comic Corner.
We got it. Perfect.
Perfect. All right, Andrew, hit us with some promotional and informational stuff.
So I just checked our count on our community Discord. It is up to 14,916. So we're almost getting to the big 15,000 members in Discord. I think that's huge. I think that's very huge. So what we're gonna do is we just got a donation of a lot of Steam keys from a good friend of mine, and he said basically let's give them away because he's not for sure going to use them. And there are a lot of good games on there. One we're giving away this week, including Civ 6 with 2 scenarios.
Yeah, very nice.
That's very good. But a whole bunch of titles. So when we hit 15K, I plan to do like a game giveaway a day.
Nice.
So that would mean anyone that is in the Discord and that is level 5, which means you have to talk, you have to communicate with us just a little bit. Just get involved with the community, see what's up, see what's going on, and then you can get to sign up for all these giveaways that's going to happen. A lot of good stuff happening. So we want to push you guys to look at some more information about our community, and that is PixelPub, the PixelPub gaming community. You can find information on our website, pixelpubgaming.com. And you can find information on our Destiny clan, which is, huge, still growing, and very, very, very active. It's called Wrath Incarnate, our World of Warcraft guild community, which is doing community raids and mythic raids. They're doing progression. They killed mythic. They're like top. What is it?
We're one out of was it 8, 9?
Yeah. But you're like top 200 in the server, right?
Yeah.
Top 200 on the server. Amazing. Good stuff. So the Bad Mom Jammas, shout outs to them. A lot of Warframe going on. The expansion's coming out soon, so trying to get hype up for that. We bought a ton of platinum. We have like 4,000 platinum in the bank that we're just going to like start handing out and giving away. So there's just a lot in the community, ARK, Minecraft, whatever it may be. Jump in, talk to some gamers, just find some games, or just talk about other stuff. We have plenty of other channels. There's this cheese platter, on the food in the food corner of it.
Food corner.
You check that out. Rob made a fantastic cheese platter, 10 out of 10 cheese platter of the week. So for that, so basically just join up, talk with us in the We Talk Nerd podcast channel as well. That'd be really nice.
Yep.
And give us some likes, subscribes, share.
Subscribe, shares.
Yeah.
All the good stuff.
And we changed to Monday. Well, obviously, we're here. So.
Sorry, everybody. I know we're competing with some hockey, apparently, as well as Monday Night Football. So we'll see who comes out on top.
Don't
forget about the T-shirts.
Yeah, we got some merchandise as well. So that's on the website. Yeah, right on top bar there. Nice.
Got mine on. And I'm hoping maybe I have some nice fresh ones for BlizzCon when we go.
BlizzCon.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be it for us this week. See you guys later.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
I think we're done. I
Do you think?